Calling the roll for the Monday, March 24, 2025 Board of Control meeting. It is 11:01 a.m. We have Trevor Meckler serving as an alternate for Meredith Turner.
Here.
Ross serving as an alternate for Michael Hauser.
Here.
Melanie Say serving as an alternate for Mike Dever.
Here.
Michael Chambers, Fiscal Officer, serving as chairman.
Here.
Paul Porter.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is the review and the approval of the minutes from March 17th. I will make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Miss Melanie Say. All in favor to approve the minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. Any comment?
No public comment?
Let's go to our first item.
First item, new item for review, BC 2025-190, Department of Public Works recommending to amend board approval number BC 2024-732 dated October 15, 2024, which approved an RFP exemption and made an award on purchase order number 24004197 to Lake Erie Construction Company for the removal and replacement of guardrails located on Usher Road in Olmsted Township by changing the amount from $51,225 to $52,510.60. Let the record reflect that Robert Slepper is now present.
Good morning, everyone. Tom Pavich, Public Works. This first item, we're looking to amend a previously approved board item. During the fourth quarter of last year, we had a purchase order approved that we competitively bid out for the guardrail replacement on Usher Road in the township. It was the guardrail leading up to and after the turnpike. Once the vendor got in there, they realized part of the specification and what they priced out, they forgot to take into account there was a fire hydrant, and you can't put a guardrail through a fire hydrant. So they had to cap off the actual guardrail, caused an increase of, I think, $1,285.60.
Okay, Tom, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Let the record reflect that Catherine Gallagher, serving as an alternate for Chris Renee, County Executive, is now present. Next item, BC 2025-191, Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a contract with Precision Industrial Services Incorporated for carpet and installation services for various county buildings for the period January 20th, 2023 through January 19, 2026, to extend the time period to January 19, 2027, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $300,000, effective upon signatures of all parties.
Good morning, Tom Pavich, Public Works again. This is an amendment to the current carpet contract that we have with Precision. So this was originally an RFP that we did some time back. The current contract goes until January of next year. We're looking to extend it one additional year and add those funds. Again, it was a competitive in RFP, but this vendor is actually the state of Ohio contract holder as well. So they did their own vetting, but we did our own vetting. These are for miscellaneous carpet projects.
Thank you again, Tom. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2025-192, Department of Public Works submitting an amendment to a contract with AVI Food Systems Incorporated for food service operations at the Cuyahoga County Justice Center cafeteria for the period July 1st, 2012 through June 30th, 2025, to add $15,000 to the contract for anticipated loss of revenue payment to AVI Food Systems Incorporated, effective upon signatures of all parties.
Tom Pavich again, Public Works. This is an amendment to the AVI contractor. They're the contract holder for the cafeteria, the fourth floor at the Justice Center. The contract goes until June 30th of this year. This is to cover any subsidy losses that have occurred. I think it was Amendment 4 where that was that language was put into the contract. And then this is just to cover any losses by the vendor until the end of June.
Thank you again, Tom. Are there questions? Yes, Trevor, please.
Good morning, Tom. Will the new contract that's coming July 1st have the same language in terms of covering revenue loss, or is that out of the new contract?
That will be out of the new contract. So we did a competitive RFP, which has been going on for the past year. We're anticipating new contracts over at the Justice Center starting July 1st, and we don't anticipate anything of that sort.
Thank you.
I had a quick question. Is this the same provider that's being used for the jail as well, or is this a separate provider?
This, I believe, is a separate provider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just for the, they just operate the fourth floor cafeteria.
Okay, seeing no further questions, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2025-193, Department of Public Works submitting an award on RQ 15173 and submitting a contract with Shermer Construction LLC and the amount not to exceed $490,757 for rehabilitation of existing Monticello Boulevard Bridge over Euclid Creek in the city of South Euclid, effective upon signatures of all parties through project completion.
Morning, Eric Mack. This is a maintenance project to repair slopes that have failed underneath by the creek. And therefore, we received 5 bids, and we are going to award it. The bid is 9% over. The lowest bid was not awarded because they did not meet any DEI goal, and it went to the reconsideration panel. And after a review, it was not met, so therefore, they moved on to the second lowest bidder, and they went through the same process, through the same panel, and they were awarded it. It did end up costing another $17,000 more than the first bid, but they were meeting the qualifications.
Okay, Eric, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Levine Ross. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item's approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-194, Fiscal Office submitting an amendment to a contract with MHC Software LLC for enterprise resource planning, printing integration software licenses, support, and implementation services for the period October 27, 2016 through July 31st, 2026, to extend the time period for a period of 3 years from the effective date of this amendment, to expand the scope of services in accordance with Schedule A, for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $9,000, to replace the insurance requirements, and to incorporate Amendment 5, Schedule C, into this amendment.
Good morning, Dominique Tatum, Fiscal Department. This is amendment with MHC. This amendment is to allow us to print our checks as a trifold check. And what will happen is we'll be able to run our checks through a fold and seal machine instead of manually have to fold the checks and mail them out.
Thank you, Dominique. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item's approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-195, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to M&J Technologies Direct Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $24,376 for a state contract purchase of 2 Cisco Catalyst 3400 Ethernet network switches, Cisco SmartNet Total Care Extended Care Services, 2 server racks, 4 Meraki outdoor dual band wireless access points, 4 Meraki dual band sector antennas, related accessories and licenses for use at various county parking lots on Superior Avenue, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT. This purchase order, as Cheryl just read into the record, is via M&J state term pricing. It's IT standard setups for the connectivity of surveillance cameras to the networked surveillance servers. And the lots being referenced here are the one adjacent to the Virgil E. Brown building and the one across the street next to the Cleveland Fire Station number 1.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-196, Department of Information Technology, on behalf of the Public Defender's Office, submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in award recommendation to M&J Technologies Direct Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $11,200 for a joint cooperative purchase of 100 Samsung portable solid-state external drives, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption, and to amend the funding source from 78% reimbursement to 93%.
Thank you, Cheryl. Good morning. Mark Budzer with the Public Defender Office. The IT department has purchased these drives for us on, the 1 terabyte drives are large enough for us to be able to share video and discovery that's received cell phone extractions from the prosecutor's office. We provide a terabyte drive to each attorney for all the cases that they're on.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Are there any questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Schlepper.
As
All-
amended.
As amended, thank you.
Thank you.
As amended. Second by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose. Item approved as amended. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-197, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Bug Crowd Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $43,906.50 for renewal of Vulnerability Disclosure Program Essentials platform for the period March 31st, 2025 through March 30th, 2026, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Dennis excuse me, Dennis Sullivan again with Department of IT. Bug Crowd is a subscription service we already use now. It's for cybersecurity threats and to mitigate all risk. This is part of the whole cybersecurity project of security research community and being involved in that. And again, this is a renewal.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there questions from the board on this item? This is annual, Dennis. We've seen this many times, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Seeing no questions?
Very happy with it.
Yeah. Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Levine Ross. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2025-198, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Logicalis Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $234,560.85 for joint cooperative purchase for renewal of NetApp support licenses and maintenance services with various start dates between May 1st, 2025 and October 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2026 for the Blue Ridge Network in Cleveland, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Dennis Sullivan again with Department of IT. NetApp via Logicalis is priced through a joint co-op pricing. The Blue Bridge Network is over on Euclid Avenue across from the Halley Building, where IT used to formerly be located. NetApp is a standard for us. It's the storage platform. And we bought the appliances originally from NetApp, and NetApp actually develops the updates to the appliances.
Hey, Dennis, thank you again. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-199, Department of Information Technology submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Logicalis Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $25,500 for joint cooperative purchase of Elasticsearch digital solution subscription services for the period May 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2026, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Dennis Sullivan again with Department of IT. Logicalis provided joint co-op pricing. Elasticsearch is data analytics for the ever-growing 59-plus Cuyahoga County websites, and it manages all the search engines.
Thank you again. Are there questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Oppose. The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-200, Department of Information Technology recommending an award on RQ 14080 and submitting a master contract with various vendors in the total amount not to exceed $450,000 for staff augmentation services effective upon signatures of all parties for a period of 5 years as listed for items A through G on the printed agenda.
Dennis Sullivan, Department of IT, as Cheryl just read out, an RFP was issued. This is in response to these 7 awards for this master contract for various IT skills at various rates. We tried to negotiate with 8. 1 couldn't come to agreement with terms and conditions. Jared, thank you for all the help with your legal department on all 8 of them, but 7 are the award at this time.
Thank you, Dennis. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose. The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2025-201, Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Court Division submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Integrated Precision Systems in the amount not to exceed $5,087.88 for a state contract purchase of one video workstation tower and monitor, related accessories, system configuration, and setup at the Juvenile Justice Center's guard shack, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Paul Porter, Department of Purchasing. This is a purchase for technology needed to monitor the parking lot outside the juvenile court facility. This is being installed as a result of some recent incidents in the parking lot. Hopefully, it's going to make things a little bit more secure over there.
Thank you, Mr. Porter. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Melanie Say. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-202, County Prosecutor submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to M&J Technologies Direct Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $25,140 for a state contract purchase of 30 HP Elite mini desktop computers, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Josh Brower with the Prosecutor's Office. The Prosecutor's Office is requesting approval to purchase 30 new desktop computers to replace outdated Windows 10 machines that are over 6 years old.
Thank you, Josh. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2025-203, County Prosecutor submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Carasoft Technology Corporation in the amount not to exceed $5,250 for renewal of one digital video recorder DVR examiner license for use by the Ohio Internet Crimes Against Children ICAC Task Force Unit for the period April 27, 2025 through April 26, 2026, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Thank you. Dave Terry, County Prosecutor, Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. DVR Examiner is a program we've used for the last few years. It allows our forensic folks to extract data from DVRs, video camera systems, supports the work not only of the ICAC Task Force, but also Cleveland Police and other agencies that request our services. This is a renewal of that license. We funded by our federal Internet Crimes Against Children grant.
Okay, Dave, thank you. Are there questions from the board? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item's approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2025-204, Public Defender's Office submitting a site agreement with James Bell Associates Incorporated in the amount of $54,500 for site implementation services in connection with JCAMP Implementation Support Services Project for the period February 12, 2025 through July 31st, 2025.
Good morning, Colin Sweeney with the Public Defender's Office. This is a grant. We had a 5-year grant from the Ohio Supreme Court to do early representation in cases involving parental rights and DCFS that is expiring, and we were able to secure this grant. It's a 5-year renewable grant that will help continue that work, that will help maintain families together and avoid unnecessary filings in juvenile court to remove children. It helps fund a parent advocate and then also provides support services for our clients.
Okay, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second? Second. Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-205, Public Defender's Office submitting an RFP exemption which will result in an award recommendation to Monarch Endeavors LLC in the amount not to exceed $12,000, effective upon signatures of all parties for a period of 1 month for management-level boot camp training sessions to be held on March 20th, 2025 and March 27, 2025, and submitting a contract with said RFP exemption, and to amend the funding source from 78% reimbursement to 93%.
Again, Colin Sweeney. This is a management training our office had for 18 supervisor employees. It's something our office hasn't done in the past. Julie Sumner with Monarch Endeavors is well positioned to do this. She's a lawyer and social worker who has worked with nonprofit legal services organizations. And so the purpose of this training is to be able to do both performance-related and also law-related training over a 2-day process that would avoid us having to send people to out-of-state trainings.
Thank you, sir. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve the item as amended. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Levine Ross. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item approved.
As amended.
Thank you.
As amended. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2025-206, Sheriff's Department submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to West Publishing Corporation, also known as Thomson Reuters, and the amount not to exceed $20,000 for the purchase of Clear ProFlex online software subscription services for Law Enforcement Division for the period February 1st, 2025 through December 31st, 2025, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Good morning, Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. Thomson Reuters provides an internet-based analytical search engine for our law enforcement. It will allow investigators to search multiple platforms to help in their investigations.
Thank you, Chris. Are there questions from the board on this item? Mr. Mackler? No? Sorry. Okay. Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2025-207, Sheriff's Department submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to State Cleaning Solutions, a division of State Industrial Products Corporation, and the amount not to exceed $30,000 for the purchase of various laundry chemicals for use in the county jail for the period March 1st, 2025 through February 28, 2026, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. This is our annual order of laundry detergent for our jail laundry.
Okay, Chris, thank you again. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Paul Porter. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2025-208, Sheriff's Department submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Zoll Medical Corporation in the amount not to exceed $64,500 for a joint cooperative purchase of 3 Auto Plus NXT starter kits and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. This is a joint co-op purchase for 3 automated chest compressors that will be placed in our jail.
Okay, Chris, thank you again. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Melanie Say. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2025-209, Sheriff's Department submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to Vance Outdoors Incorporated, DBA Vance's Law Enforcement, in the amount not to exceed $50,087.05 for a state contract purchase of 233 cases of duty and training ammunition for law enforcement officers, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. This is just a partial order of our training ammo. It also includes our live duty ammo for law enforcement.
Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second? Second by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Oppose, the item is approved. Next item?
Next item, BC 2025-210, Sheriff's Department recommending an award and submitting a contract with OCV LLC in the amount not to exceed $84,464 for a sole source purchase of Vine Victim Information and Notifications Everyday Network custom mobile app with push and alert system notifications of inmate status for iPhone and Android mobile devices, maintenance and support commencing upon contract signature of all parties for a period of 3 years.
Chris Costin, Sheriff's Department. This app will provide the community a way to search our inmate information that are currently incarcerated. It also comes with a 3-year service and maintenance agreement.
Okay, thank you again. Are there questions from the board on this item? Mr. McAleer, please.
Chris, will this be inmate lookup for individuals? Is that what you mean by the community?
That and information that we wouldn't be able to disclose. So family members could see the status of their incarcerated family members.
Okay, so you're going to be able to search for
Yes.
inmates that are in lockup?
Yes.
And when do you think that'll be live?
Well, as soon as they are working on it right now. So once we give them the go, probably in the next couple months. They still have to develop it through Cuyahoga County's needs.
Thank you.
Are there additional questions? Seeing no further questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Macular. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-211, Medical Examiner's Office submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in award recommendation to Agilent Technologies Incorporated and the amount not to exceed $9,452.84 for a joint cooperative purchase of various lab supplies for use by the Drug Chemistry Lab and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Hugh Shannon, Medical Examiner's Office. These are supplies for the drug lab for the next quarter.
Thank you, Hugh. Are there questions from the board on these supplies? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2025-212, Medical Examiner's Office submitting an RFP exemption, which will result in an award recommendation to B&H Photo and Electronics, DBA B&H, and the amount not to exceed $13,716.20 for a joint cooperative purchase of 2 Kalari cameras, filters, various accessories, and supplies for routine maintenance of camera equipment for the forensic photography and investigative units, and submitting a purchase order with said RFP exemption.
Hugh Shannon, Medical Examiners. These are replacing 2 cameras that are 15-plus years old. Digital age, those are ancient. So they're being replaced with various lenses and other accessories that are needed.
Okay, Hugh, thank you again. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, I will make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item approved.
Thank you.
Next item. Thank you.
Next item, BC 2025-213, Department of Public Safety and Justice Services submitting an amendment to a contract with Cleveland Rape Crisis Center for juvenile diversion services for at-risk minority youth for the Positive Youth Development Preventing Delinquency Through Gender-Specific Programming in connection with the 2023 Title II Formula Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Grant for the period October 1st, 2023 through March 31st, 2025, to extend the time period to June 10th, 2025, to incorporate Exhibit 1 revised budget and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $12,500 effective upon signatures of all parties.
Good morning, Leslie White, Department of Public Safety and Justice Services. So another provider was under delivering on their contract, and so we reduced that contract and we're reallocating these grant dollars to Cleveland Rape Crisis so they can deliver additional services to the community, and then the grant dollars don't go unspent.
Okay, thank you, Leslie. Are there questions from the board on this item? Seeing no questions, I will make a motion to approve it. Is there a second? Second by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item approved.
Thank you.
Moving on, please.
Next item, exemption BC 2025-214, Department of Public Works requesting an alternative procurement process which will result in the release of a formal request for proposals for furniture and fixtures for 1801 Superior Avenue, Cleveland, to be used by the Department of Health and Human Services to qualified suppliers on joint cooperative purchasing platforms open to the county, including but not limited to Sourcewell, Omnia Partners, State of Ohio Contract, NASPO, Value Point, Federal GSA Schedule. Only vendors with existing joint cooperative purchasing contracts will be eligible for award under this alternative procurement.
Good morning, Tom Pavich again, Public Works. So this is a unique item. We're requesting an alternative procurement to modify your typical RFP release. So we have an upcoming large procurement on the horizon for 1801. This is for the HHS furniture. Most furniture that we procure the county is through a cooperative, the State of Ohio, Omnia, Sourcewell. Those contracts, they're competitively bid or negotiated. They're like buying groups. government entities, nonprofits, schools that are able to take advantage of that. So you hear a lot, the word cooperative a lot. Due to the large size of this purchase that we're anticipating, we're gonna do our own procurement on this. So it's gonna be kind of like a double vetting. We only want to release this to approved cooperative vendors and award to a cooperative vendor. We're not sure if it's gonna be state contract, TIPS, NASPO, Omnia, Sourcewell. We just wanna make sure we have a qualified vendor that's been vetted as best as possible. You know, it's gonna be a large project. The vendor's gonna be designing as well. So there's a lot of components to this. So this is the approval to release an RFP just to cooperative vendors and giving us authority to only to award to an approved vendor that's on a cooperative.
Okay, Mr. Pavich, thank you. Are there questions from the board on this item? Okay, seeing no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All in favor to approve, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The item is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on, please.
Moving on to consent agenda items BC 2025-215 and BC 2025-216.
Pretty short agenda here for today, and if there's no questions, I will make the motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Schlepper. All in favor to approve today's consent agenda items, say aye. Aye. Opposed? They are approved. Moving on,
No other business?
any public comment?
No public comment?
I will make the motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Seconded by Ms. Melanie Say. All in favor to adjourn, say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you all.